Welcome to Mayor Frank Jackson's 2018 Highlights of Success. I'm Leah Haslage. This year has been significant for Mayor Frank Jackson and his administration. There were many notable accomplishments, beginning when he made history, being sworn in as the first person to hold an unprecedented fourth term as mayor of the city of Cleveland.
And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all of you who worked with me over the last 12 years and who have shown confidence in me. And I want to thank the county executive, the council president, all the council members, other elected officials, and I want to thank my cabinet and all the city employees, and to the corporate community, the small businesses, philanthropic community, and the clergy who has invested in this city and work with us to make it better every day. I want to say thank you. Thank you to my campaign team. I want to thank my family for allowing me the time it takes to do this job. And most of all, I want to thank the people of the city of Cleveland, the citizens of the city of Cleveland. A great city will be measured by the condition and well-being of the least of us, not in terms of welfare and charity, but in terms of all being able to participate in the quality of life and the prosperity that we have created.
To continue developing our great city, Mayor Jackson announced plans for the Neighborhood Transformation Initiative.
So this initiative is about the future of not only Glenville and other distressed neighborhoods, it's about the future of those stable neighborhoods, about those neighborhoods that are trending. It's about the future of the city of Cleveland. And that's what this initiative is about.
Another initiative that has been working to keep our community thriving for almost a decade is Sustainable Cleveland 2019.
As I said, this is a year of vital neighborhoods. And one of the examples I can give you that we're doing from the public-private partnership is our Neighborhood Transformation Initiative that is really focused on a portion of the city that is one of the most distressed areas of the city in attempting to create an economy there that does not need perpetual subsidy in order for it to thrive and survive. And we're doing that in partnership with the private sector. And that partnership is essential for it to work. It cannot work without that partnership.
You know, when I first became mayor, one of the things that we did, we looked at sustainability. And so I elevated sustainability to a cabinet level position, and so that we could help develop policies around it. And we began as a city, Sustainable Cleveland 2019, which is really an effort to transform our economy into a sustainable economy by the year 2019. We set that goal and we're working on that goal. Now I know that what it does is really a tool and an instrument for us to say to businesses that a business model can use sustainable practices and still be profitable. And we will be celebrating, I think, 10 years in 2019, next year. And each year we have a demonstration year. So each year there's a year of water, there's a year of energy, there's a year of whatever we choose for that year. And next year will be Year of the People. Year of the People, because all of what we do is to try to create a healthy environment for people and to raise the quality of life and the prosperity of people.
The transformation and growth of our neighborhoods was a focal point, with groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings on new businesses, homes, schools, trails and parks, and roadways. To continue to grow our community, Mayor Jackson says we need them all.
This is a complete society, which means it's not just government, it's the private sector, it's the philanthropic sector, it's the religious sector, it's all of the sectors that make up what? A community. And you have to impact each of those sectors in order to get something done. Now, at any moment in time, one of them will be more important than the other, depending on what it is that you're looking to accomplish. But you need them all. You need them all. Because it's not just the building. The building is the building. But it's part of what does the building mean and what statement does it make. And the statement to me it makes is that it creates the expectation that things can happen in any neighborhood of the city of Cleveland with the right set of people, with the right vision, with the right dream, and the right partnership. This just doesn't happen because it's a great ideal. It happens because somebody put some work in, and a whole lot of work. And it goes a little bit deeper than just putting the work in. You have to put the work in, and you have to put it in with some love, with some passion and commitment. And that is what's happened here. Because you could take 37 tax credit homes and build them, and without the connectivity to that neighborhood, then you just have 37 tax credit homes, and it goes nowhere. But what you have here, you have a leadership that this is their home. And so when they make decisions based on what they love, their home. You have leadership here when they make decisions and they make the arrangements of who should benefit from those decisions. They look at the community. And so this is part of a vision that it has in it a strategic plan as to how to accomplish that vision, that 37 tax credit homes is just one part. You know, I want to congratulate the National Fisher House Foundation, local and the VA for the success here, because it did take a lot of work, a lot of effort on a lot of people's part. And as was mentioned, those people who participated, and I imagine there are some who participated who were not mentioned, but I know that everything that we do in Cleveland and we're successful at, we do it as a community. Less than a week ago, I was on 105 in Superior, and we announced our first phase of a $65 million development in one of the most distressed areas of the city of Cleveland. Earlier today, I was at 83rd and 93rd in Quincy as we announced with ODOT the beginning of phase 3 of the Opportunity Corridor that will connect economic development and jobs in, again, one of the most distressed areas of the city of Cleveland. And now we're here to talk about an investment in downtown Cleveland, a downtown neighborhood of Cleveland, where we will have a residential investment that will cause downtown Cleveland, that neighborhood, to be a place where people will live, work, play, and do business. And all of this is just part of an overall vision for Cleveland, but none of this work without the dedication and the commitment and the work of individuals and organizations, not government itself, but those individuals and organizations that are committed to their mission and their purpose. And that is why I not only want to congratulate Playout Square, but I want to thank them. I want to thank them for their leadership, thank them for their commitment, and thank them for being real citizens of this city, and not only for Cleveland, but the greater Cleveland, as they have taken what was distressed and made it into something not only as viable, but is worldwide in its competition and what it does. If you ask me to pick something I think is number one priority, I would say education is the key to our success, and it helps to eliminate those inequities and disparities, and helps to provide a genuine opportunity for people where there would not be one. When we look at the councilman, we look at Slavic Village Development Corporation, you have a very diverse community in terms of opportunities. Last week, we did the ribbon cutting on 37 tax credit homes We had phase 1 here, and now we have phase 2. There are many different opportunities and ways that you can live and afford to live in the Slavic Village community. When people have choices in life and they choose where they want to live, work, play, and do business, they look at certain things. And this towpath, this trail, is one of the things that they will look at. And it will help Cleveland to be a more attractive place, a better choice, and help people make those kind of choices. But it's always about the partnership. It's always about the relationship. And the people that have spoken and those who do the work that are not up here are the key to making this happen. I can remember 2 or 3 years ago, I got a call from Ms. Haven and Judge G. Merrill Capers, and one of the things they wanted to talk about was what was going to happen with this property over here. And then I contacted Director Cox, who's the director of Public Works, and he informed me that there was some money available and that we were going to do a renovation of this area, and then we included Ms. Havens and then the building in the design of this park. But that just goes to show you that without her interest and without her expressing her interest, this probably wouldn't look the way it looks today. And so she made this happen. She really did. She made it happen. She put the work in, and it's really part of that community effort that we need in government in order to make us respond in the proper way to what the community desires and needs. This has been, 2 years at least in the process, and one of the major issues we found was the environmental issue that we had to correct, not only in the park but in the backyards of some of the surrounding areas. And I think that was over $6 million of federal EPA money. We put $900 and something thousand into the facility, the park itself, to bring it up to what it is. But this park is just one of the things that makes this neighborhood what I call a neighborhood of choice, where people want to live, work, play, and do business because they have this as an amenity. It's one of those things that people look for when they look to where they want to, again, live, work, play, and do business. This is not just a one-time occurrence with them. As they said, as Mr. Kamarowski said, they'll be doing 19, and I believe they're doing also some gym floors at our schools. So this is not just a one-time occurrence for them. They have been a great partner, a great citizen, a corporate citizen with the city of Cleveland. And so I want to, again, congratulate everyone, but I also want to thank the Cavaliers and their leadership team from Dan Gilbert down to Mr. Kamborowski and all those involved that helped to make this happen. Thank you.
Mayor Jackson expressed the importance of inclusion in establishing opportunities for the citizens of Cleveland.
Our primary concern was not the expenditure of the money per se or the road per se, but it was more about what it would be to benefit to Cleveland and the local communities in which this road passes through. So this is not a pass-through. It is more of a real opportunity for Cleveland in general, but neighborhood and the people who live in those neighborhoods in particular. You know, we looked at the infrastructure itself to make sure that the utilities were included so that we would have an opportunity as companies decided to build along the opportunity corridor. Infrastructure would be the proper infrastructure for them. We looked at the environmental impact, meaning that there is a lot of environmental issues with the land surrounding. So we worked with Jobs Ohio and thanked them for their going outside of their normal procedure and really providing us about $10 million up front to deal with the testing and the remediation of a portion of the land, so we would have a shovel-ready sites for companies that would be willing to participate in developing along the corridor. And the third thing was really about the community benefit. What benefit is this to the community? We can't build $300 million of infrastructure and go through the most distressed areas of the city of Cleveland and not have those areas benefit. So we worked out a community benefits agreement with ODOT, which they're keeping, and they've honored their word. And so it's really turning out to be an opportunity for Cleveland and the neighborhoods rather than just a pass-through. This location, this new location, will consolidate a lot of agencies and activities, so that it makes it easier on the client, the customer that you serve. It's very convenient, centrally located, and all these things are very important as people are looking for jobs, particularly people who find obstacles. And adding just a little thing sometime is more than enough for them to give up. So making it convenient, helping people, and doing the job is what Ohio Means Job does. And I want to congratulate you and really thank you for your service. I, as mayor, I'm a homebody, I guess, but as mayor, I do have an opportunity now and then to go to other parts of the country and even the world. And I was talking to someone earlier, and I was saying when I'm going to other parts of the country and world, there are three things that people mention about Cleveland: the Cleveland Orchestra, the Cleveland Clinic, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum. And so it is not a national icon; it's an international icon. And as was mentioned, there are 12 million people who've come through these doors over the existence of this museum. And not every Clevelander needs to take advantage of this grant and this program, but there are many, many, many Clevelanders who would not be able to visit this icon that is recognized nationally and internationally, but for the donation of Key Bank and Miss Mooney. If we're going to have this bright future, and if our bright days are going to be in front of us, we have to begin to look at Cleveland in a non-traditional way in terms of development and investment in real estate activity. And what I mean by that, we have to begin to look at the most distressed areas of the city. That is our future. If we do not turn around and cause quality of life and prosperity in the most distressed areas of the city of Cleveland, all of what we have accomplished will have a short shelf life and it will begin to fade. The future of Cleveland and the sustainability of the progress and the prosperity and the quality of life that we have accomplished depends on that. I know that internet access and ability to have the technology and being able to use technology is not just a luxury, it's not a toy that we just have. It's really something that is essential and necessary, and it becomes even more that way in everyday life as we move out into the future. So the question becomes, how do we ensure that everyone is included, so that they can be competitive, that they can participate in that competitive world and in that quality of life? And you cannot do it if you don't have that access. And so I want to thank all of you for what you do as you work and you fight to include people who are being left out. We believe in Cleveland that there is no panacea in life. But if you force us to make a choice and prioritize things as to what is important, we'll always put education first. Always. And that is because educating our children, our young people, in a way, not only academically, but in life itself, gives them the kind of knowledge and exposure that allows them to make good and proper decisions, not only in regards to their own life, but their relationships with others. not only in Cleveland, but throughout the country and even throughout the world.
Connecting with the community is always of importance, whether walking kids to school or meeting with residents. Mayor Jackson and the Cleveland Division of Police have been very involved.
As you can see, we invest millions of dollars in our recreational facilities and our parks and our playground, and really in programming so that kids can have a safe summer. Every rec center, staff person, manager, and employee is being trained in crisis intervention, trauma. We're hiring 11 licensed professionals to work in our rec centers to help identify young people with trauma or crisis and help them through that. So part of what we're talking about is how do you create a safe community? And the only way that you can have a completely safe community is to have full community participation. And that full community participation is what makes that community safe. It's really about community engagement and community policing in a way that really connects police officers with individuals and with community organizations and community groups to have a real feel for what's going on the street, other than the traditional what people would think of police work, answering 911 or going to homicides or robberies or things like that. It's a different approach, and we find that it's very effective, and there's a lot of information that is gathered, not in terms of just identifying who are bad actors, but information that's being gathered in terms of what we can do as a division of police to improve quality of life in the city of Cleveland.
A veteran of the United States Army, Mayor Jackson had the opportunity to honor and recognize fellow veterans and celebrate new military milestones.
I want to welcome the Admiral back to Cleveland and welcome the Navy to Cleveland, and really thank the Navy for choosing Cleveland to be the 11th out of the 14th event you'll be holding this year throughout the country. This event will entail a week of events that I'm pretty sure someone will describe to you, that will have the Navy engaged at every level throughout our community. To the Gold Star families, I want to express to you that I always find these moments to be difficult, because I know that no matter what I say or do is insufficient. So this monument is really something for me that allows an expression of what I really cannot say in words. It is in what is in our hearts as a community. Cleveland serves. We serve in many ways, and we serve throughout every branch, and the Navy is one of those. And we really appreciate them recognizing Cleveland for what we do and as servicing people and this nation. So thank you very much.
From pre-K to college, education has been a top priority for Mayor Jackson.
I want to encourage you to do well this year in school. Do well this year in school, progress through your academic career, go on either to employment opportunities or to college, whatever it is that you choose to do. We want to ensure that our young people have an opportunity to come into public service, do a job, do a good job, and get paid, have a career, and be able to raise a family and be able to retire with a good retirement plan. That's what we want. And when I became mayor, one of the things that I decided to do was to make sure that we could have young people have the greatest amount of exposure that we could give them to do two things: to learn the trade in which they want to go into, or to make up their mind because they've been exposed to something that they had never thought of.
Whether it was holding hands across the bridge, supporting the LGBTQ community, meeting with delegates from Lithuania, ambassadors from Ireland, attending parades and festivals, supporting local organizations, museums, and sports, Mayor Jackson shows the importance of appreciating the diversity and culture in our city.
And I often say the people who have to always be on their game all the time in order to be recognized that your work is never done, and that it's always about the next thing. It's always about pushing and agitating and ensuring that you receive the rights that you deserve. And that is what I say to you. And you've been doing it, but you've been doing it in a way that has caused government and the private sector in Cleveland to respond to you, which means you've done it in a very respectable way, professional way, and you've gotten results. The relationship, international relationship between Cleveland and China, we value greatly. And we know that your organization is one that can help that relationship not only get stronger and better, but be profitable business-wise for both Chinese companies and American companies. So we welcome you, and we welcome the service that you provide.
You know, I have a proclamation, and this proclamation is for the 50th Annual Puerto Rican Parade and Latino Fest 2018. And I have with me, as was mentioned, the Chief of Police, Chief of Fire, Deputy Chief, and the new Hispanic liaison. So again, welcome, and thank you for what you do for Cleveland.
Mayor Jackson received awards and recognition this year from his alma mater, from the Downtown Cleveland Alliance, and from the Greater Abyssinia Baptist Church, which honored Mayor for his humanitarian efforts.
When you become mayor, you inherit good things and bad things, and then you find sometimes some time to do your own thing. But I will guarantee you that we would not be where we are today without the foundations that was laid by Mrs. Miller. And so I really appreciate receiving this award. I learned a lot here. And in the time I went here, when I was admitted here, I could not have gone to another law school who would not have admitted me to their law school. So, but for Cleveland Marshall Law School, I would not have been a lawyer, which probably would have impacted whether or not I would have been mayor. So I want to tell you how much I appreciate the school, how much I appreciate all of the people who are being inducted tonight, and thank you very much for inducting me. You know, I want to thank you for the recognition and really congratulate everyone else who's been recognized tonight. You know, I often remind myself that I'm mayor not because I'm so smart or even that I deserve to be. I'm mayor because of the sacrifice and the things that other people have done so that someone like me can be mayor. And I've always appreciated that, and I believe that I owe. And when I serve as mayor, I do that with the understanding that I have that debt to pay. So thank you very much.
As you can see, it was another very successful year for Mayor Frank Jackson and his administration. We look forward to all the great new developments in the coming year. Thanks for watching TV 20. We are Cleveland.